If you've ever had a project go off the rails, whether it was time, cost, or delivering what you said you were going to deliver, was. Statistics tell us from the book how big things get done, that you're not on your Pat Malone and that the odds were actually stacked against you before you started. In that book, Ben Flyvbjerg studied over 16,000 projects, and we'll run through some stats in a minute on how many actually delivered on budget, on cost and time, or the actual benefit that they forecast they're going to do. What we're going to do right now is run you through these 6 phases. It shows you who does this involve, where does it all go wrong, how much impact does it actually have, where it happens, how it affects what we call flow, how you mitigate it, what most importantly, and an unconventional position that you've probably never had on your project team before that helps you mitigate the chances of you ending up in one of these disaster areas again. We're going to try and do this all in 8 minutes and 33 seconds, which is the time that it took Bob Dylan to sing the song, The Hurricane. All right, so we better get into it. Right, so who does this involve? To start off with, before we even get on the ground, we've got a team that come up with the project. Okay, so we've got probably a CEO, maybe a COO, project director, CFO, the money person, stakeholders, we've got our PM, and probably a PMO, project management officer. Okay, they think in their mind they're going to deliver this award-winning project. So where does it all go wrong? Well, what they do is they just think if we can get the right people on site, this project will just go. It'll be easy, piece of cake. We'll be able to do this, no dramas at all. Because they're all very strong individually at what they do, very smart people, they think if they just hire some more very strong, smart people, put them on a project together, the project will just take off. They'll execute flawlessly like this little team just here, okay? What happens is they get a heap of smart people and they end up running around like this in a complete and utter shit show. Projects, delivering projects is a team sport. We don't put anywhere near enough emphasis on making sure that we have the right team players, that have the right structure and the right strategy before they even get on site to set them up to succeed. So how much impact does running around like this have? We look at it from a lean perspective. 90%, it says 90% of everything that we do every day is waste. 90% of what happens down here in this average shit show area is just complete and utter waste of time. We didn't need to do it at all. If we can focus on getting our teams to look like this, 10% of our results come from our team looking like this. If we could double that 10% and get that to 20% of our results, we can double the throughput, the speed, velocity, whatever you want to call it, that our project actually goes. So the iron law of project management says, this is from the book, How Big Things Get Done. They studied over 16,000 projects, 100% of them. 47.9% of them actually delivered what they said they were going to deliver on budget. 8.5% of them delivered or better. 8.5% of them delivered on budget and on time, or better. 0.5% delivered on budget, on time, and they delivered the benefit that they said that the project was actually going to deliver at the end of it. When all this happens, this waste, is when we don't have what's known as flow. Building a project team is the exact same thing as building a project. It is a project within a project. We have to do certain things in a certain sequence to ensure that things run smoothly. We're operating like this little team. They're up in this top corner up here, okay? We need to get the civils in first, build us a nice solid base to be able, for our team to be able to operate off. Then we need to put some structure in place so that they can start building things. We need to put the mechanics of it behind it so that things start running smoothly. We need to put pipe work into it so the information starts flowing the right way. We don't have little people all working in different teams and different silos with different agendas. Then at the end of it, we need to wire it up. So we've got dashboards. We can see what's going on. We have visibility on where we're getting from, where we are actually on the project, how we're tracking, or whether we're on track or we're off track. The way that we mitigate ending up with this down here, mitigate that and end up like that, is that we need to create what I call a Kaizen culture loop. Or you might have heard it called continuous improvement, lean, all sorts of different names that you may have heard for it. I call it a Kaizen culture loop. So we end up with two types of people when we first start. We get a stealth team. These are the guys that just jump in. They're on board. They're all about improvement. They just want to get going with it. Startups call them early adopters, okay? We also have what's known as the red team. These can be people that others consider negative or troublemakers. They have a distinct purpose that they're going to serve for us. We don't want to get rid of them. We want them. They are our risk mitigation. What happens in this loop is we give them a strategy. This is how we're going to get this project built, okay? Once they understand the strategy, we give them some structure. Go and build this. The same as when we come into a job, and as soon as we start going up in the air, we need to start putting scaffolding up. We give them some scaffolding for them to be able to operate off of. As they start to learn the strategy and the structure, they learn that, they come back to the top and they start to improve. More people come into the stealth team. The stealth team starts to build. The stealth team starts to build speed. The red team gets better and better at risk mitigation, and we go through the loop again. We improve the strategy, we improve the structure, we learn, we keep this flywheel going. As it spins up, the project moves quicker and quicker and quicker. The unconventional position that you will not have considered before is what I call a cross between a wingman and a catalyst. This is to help you move even quicker. The wingman is there to support you. So all of these people up in the top here, the wingman's got your back. They're there to create alignment between all of these teams, so we end up with this and not this. And they're there because they've been there and done this before. They know how to avoid the traps. They can see trouble coming and mitigate it before you actually get into trouble. The other thing that you need is catalyst. Catalyst removes and reduces roadblocks and resistance to change. They lower the barriers to change as well, because there are going to be a lot of barriers to start with, particularly from this red team, to how we're going to go about doing this. Why are we going through this actual process? What's this harebrained scheme? What does it look like? What is in it for me? Anyway, if that all makes sense to you, you would like to learn more about how you do this. You sat on this video for long enough. You're probably seeing it on LinkedIn. If not, you might be on YouTube. I'm tipping that you're smart enough to work out how to get across to my LinkedIn. Shoot me a direct message and say, hey Beanie, I'd really like to sit down for a chance to catch up and see if this might be a good fit, if we might be a good fit to work together. Pretty sure you'll figure that bit out, particularly if you're sitting in this section just up here. And look at that. We've still got 11 seconds to go. So we have made time, budget, and we've delivered what we promised going to do. Speak soon.